I'll wait for everybody to join in a second. We're going to interview the designer Chip Kidd. He is an absolute legend. He's the one that designed all these logos and everything. Let me see if he's here. There he is. Right. It's being added. Hi, Chip.
Hi there.
How are you?
I'm all right.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Welcome to your first Instagram Live interview, right? Is
My
it?
very first one.
That's awesome. I see you got the peanuts behind you. I love the peanuts. I was looking through all your work recently, and I was like, wow, he does. You have a book coming out, I think is it November? Like a new book with the peanuts?
It's a there's two things. One is a poster book, and the other is an updated. I have the copy of it upstairs. An updated edition of a book I did after this one called "Only What's Necessary," which is it's more of like a coffee table art book, but it runs the entire gamut of Schultz's career with tons of stuff from the archive that has never been published before.
Oh, I love that. I have all these little, peanuts, like little books or, the coffee table books and stuff. And so I'm adding that one for sure. How's your day? You're in New York, right?
Actually, no, I have a place down in South Florida,
Oh,
and in mid-March, when I got the work from home order, I came down here.
oh, okay. That's nice.
I've been here ever since, and I really miss it. And hopefully, I'll be going back towards the end of the summer.
Okay. Yeah, I saw your post with the picture of your office. I love your office, by the way, with all the different stuff. I like you, as you can see, I do the same thing, but but yeah, hopefully you can get back to your office. But I'm really glad that you joined us today because I want to talk about, as you can see, my shirt has your logo on it like 400 times and and all that stuff. But I have a couple of questions for you, if you're
Sure.
happy to answer. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I saw recently the original cover for the book, the actual logo, the Rex skeleton was actually like a dark forest green. Is that right? Or is it black?
It is an extremely dark green. I mean, it's almost like a fine distinction, but and you can't tell from this, but yeah, well, I guess either you guys or somebody posted,
Someone else said, yeah.
and it had a real greenish tinge to it, and then I was like, yeah, that's right. Wait, it was originally a super dark green. Then I went and looked at my copy, and it's like, yeah, it was green.
Maybe some sun fade or something like that maybe brightened up the black, I mean, the green on that one or something like that. Sometimes that happens. But I had a fan ask, actually, the logo that you use on the original cover, did you have to go through a bunch of different font types, or was that just the one that you chose?
Well, in terms of the typography,
Yeah.
that was there wasn't a lot of variation on that. In terms of the image, there was a ton of variation. We tried a bunch of different stuff first before
Before you saw one book, right? There was a book that you found that had that.
Yes, and of course I don't have it down here with me, but it's it's interesting. People have been posting it on Instagram, and it's like a big, huge scholarly book on like all the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And I bought it at the in the bookshop at the Museum of Natural History in New York, and that would have been, I think, what, the spring of 1990.
Okay. So
Yeah.
when was the logo actually made? Like in the spring or July or something like that?
Yeah, and just to reiterate, I just did the dinosaur itself.
Right. Okay.
So the logo that's on your shirt and that they used in the movie, Universal bought the rights to the dinosaur image, and then they did
The little.
the type treatment and the red circle and all of that. So I don't want to take credit for something I didn't do.
But
Um,
the thing is, your part of the logo is the most important part. So that's the thing that, and I was going to ask you about that was, how did like nowadays that logo is on underwear, it's on coffee cups, it's on socks, all the most random things. But what's the craziest thing that you've seen the Jurassic logo on?
well, I think one of the most interesting things was Universal made a limited edition toaster that would burn it into your bread.
That's awesome. Yeah,
and and I got one. And again, it's up in New York. It's I don't have it down here. And then other than that, just people's tattoos.
yeah, oh yeah, that's got to be amazing. Um, I think I saw in an interview somewhere that you had a pre-screening of Jurassic Park before it came out and everything like that. Who was in the room with you when you were watching the film, and how much earlier than everybody else did you get to see the film?
I'd say we saw it about a week before it came out, and it was the people in the room. We okay, so I work for Alfred A. Knopf Publishing
Yeah.
that published the book originally and published Crichton back to Andromeda Strain.
Okay.
Long history with him. So it was a Knopf screening. I remember it was a very small private screening room, but with like a great sound system, and but it was me and my colleagues.
Oh, that's awesome. Um, since then, have you met any like Laura Dern or Sam Neill or any of them since the film or anything like that, or not really?
No, alas. Let me think. I mean, I met Jeff Goldblum at a party.
Oh, that's
I
fun.
I don't think I even brought it up.
I don't think you.
Um, actually, somebody who I did know for a while, just socially, was BD Wong.
Oh, okay, yeah, he's very cool.
Yeah,
Actually,
he's great.
met him at the fifth film premiere, and he was super nice. Um, I wanted to know, besides Jurassic and all that kind of stuff, I know you like Batman. I know you like the Peanuts. What's your favorite movie?
My favorite Batman movie?
Favorite Batman movie and your favorite movie besides Batman, if you have one.
Oh man, I mean, I can't.
Or is there too many?
Yeah, there's too many. I mean, yeah, I can't think of a real interesting answer to that. I think I did this book.
Oh yeah, I love that cover.
And so this was, oh God, that was like 1998.
Yeah,
But one of I think the single best, technically it's a Batman film,
right.
is the opening credit sequence, for lack of a better term, for Batman the Animated Series.
Oh yeah, okay, good.
Which is, I know it's a cop out answer, but it's true. It's just like a gem work of art.
Right. I can play it back in my head easily.
Yeah, and the music by Danny Elfman, and the just, it has a beginning, middle, and an end, and it's just perfect.
Right, and
It's
you
absolutely
don't
perfect.
fast forward through it ever. You're willing to sit through and watch it, right?
And the fact that they did that for what at the time was just considered, a 4:30 in the afternoons kid show on Fox.
Right.
Like the bar was so low.
Yeah.
And Bruce Timm and all the amazing people that he hired to work on that, just they made this incredible work of art. It's just so but I'd say, like, full-length movie, all the Heath Ledger scenes in The Dark Knight.
Beautifully done.
It's just incredible.
I love that. And when that first came out, I was obsessed with that. I put all Jurassic aside, and I was all like, Dark Knight, Dark Knight, Dark Knight. It was awesome. I do have a question about, have you ever been approached to do, and I don't know this, have you ever been approached to design a movie poster or anything like that? Or has it strictly been book covers?
Yeah, no, I mean, I've been working now for 34 years as a graphic designer. And yeah, I mean, I've done movie posters. mostly for indies,
Yeah.
most of which you probably never heard of. Uh, One of the most interesting was a movie called Fur, which is about the life of the photographer Diane Arbus, and it has the distinction of starring Robert Downey Jr. and Nicole Kidman, and it barely even got released.
Oh wow.
Uh, and I got to meet him,
Hmm.
and that was a kick. Probably the movie poster for the most sort of widely released commercial thing I did was for a movie called Morning Glory, which
Oh yeah.
was produced by J.J. Abrams, who asked me to do it, and that was such a wonderful experience. And the cast of that movie is amazing. It's Harrison Ford and Diane Keaton and Rachel McAdams, and it's a really fun movie.
And I can picture the poster in my head right now. I know exactly which one you're talking about. It's a good one.
Mm.
I do have a question as a side note. So for it's like for design, when I'm designing and that kind of stuff, sometimes I feel like there's all these new and up and comers, coming out, and maybe they know Photoshop better, they know InDesign better, whatever it might be. Do you ever get stuck in your own ways and just do things your way, or do you still watch tutorial videos on how to do things, or that kind of stuff?
That's a good question. The stock, all of what you're describing, those are all tools.
Right.
Okay. And, the tools as we have them today are better than they've ever been, but they're not going to think for you.
Right.
A tool isn't going to say, hey, why don't you go to the Museum of Natural History and sit 10 feet away from the T-Rex skeleton and stare at it for 4 hours.
Right.
Maybe you'll get an idea, you know? So like the whole graphic design process is you have to have an idea first, and then those tools are going to be what help you to realize it.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm old school. I learned graphic design the last generation before the computer came along.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, I mean, I know how to use Photoshop well enough to do with it what I want to do,
Yeah.
but there's certain things like, oh, I want this some kind of effect or that kind of effect, and I'll get somebody younger in our office to help me with it.
No, that's great, and that's awesome that you actually admit that, because I think I get stuck in my own ways as well, where I'm, you know, doing things the way that I want to do, and I think of it kind of like a puzzle, kind of, where if because I can't draw to save my life, there's no way, and I look at all these other poster artists that are, they can draw anything and make it look beautiful, like a Drew Struzan or whatever it might be, but I like taking the other route where I take photos and I try to manipulate them in a way, and figure out a way how to achieve the same goal, but with the way that I know how to do it. And I feel like good designers and stuff can figure it out that way too. And you're right; it's not about the tools; it's about the person, usually.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I do have a question about the Rolling Stones, the 2000s cover that you created.
Mm-hmm.
I had that on my wall for like 3 years. I had no idea that I had a big collage of all Rolling Stone where I had like Britney Spears and all these other artists and that kind of stuff on the cover of Rolling Stone, but one of them was yours. And I would always look at that, and that's the one. I love, that's so good. Where
Can you believe I just had it? I mean, I didn't know you were going to ask that question, and it was within reach.
I gotta say that I think that's one of the things when I was 14, 15, maybe 16, that was one of the covers that I was like, oh my gosh, he figured out something so clever, and I've been wanting to do something as great ever since. So I gotta hand it to you for that. That's amazing. Out of all the things, that's the one that sticks out besides the Jurassic logo. um, I want to know, do you have a favorite Jurassic Park movie, or do you like the original the most?
Yeah, the original.
The
And
original.
it's just amazing to me how well it holds up.
Oh yeah,
And
it's nuts.
it really is. And I was going through some old papers, I don't know, like 3 months ago before the lockdown at work, and there was an article in the New York Post on the gossip column page 6, and it was while the movie was in production, and it was this kind of piece basically saying that they were having all of these problems, and that like it was going to have to be shut down, and people didn't think they were actually going to be able to do it. And I had forgotten that.
Right.
It was an incredibly difficult thing.
And they
for
went some kind of like big storm. Like there were so many things fighting against the film, and it happened anyways.
Yeah, that's
I do have another question. I know Universal took bought the rights to the logo and changed it with the circle and everything, but how did it feel when you saw your logo in the movie on like almost like there's a scene where it was like on a lunchbox, it was on on the Jeeps, it was on that kind of stuff, and how was that feeling for you?
it was pretty. We watched, my colleagues and I watched the movie together, and our jaws were just dropping, and we're like, oh my God, it's not only the logo for the movie, it's the logo for the park in the movie. And you know, the scenes in the gift shop, like at the time I was like, I want a set of those dishes with the logo on.
They're actually on eBay. If you want one, go find one.
All right.
I think they're not too expensive, but I think it's real China, and it has like the gold on the outside and everything. So maybe one day.
But at the time, you know, it was just a movie prop,
right?
You know, because it hadn't become the big thing yet. So
no,
yeah.
I love. I have I know this print was I have
yes.
This. I love this, and I got this double-sided frame so I can see both. But
yeah,
I think it's really great that they asked you to do that, and I was like, I have to get a piece of some kind of history like that, because especially with that full logo where it's like you can see a little bit more of the T-Rex's body and everything. Actually, it's interesting to see that, because usually it gets cut off right about there type thing.
Right.
And I love seeing just that little extra bit. But
I was thrilled to do that. That was that project, that lithograph was generated by a group called Bottleneck.
Yeah,
in Brooklyn, and they do amazing stuff. And they reached out to me. But what really, I was just so thrilled, because it's like the first, because it's all, you see the copyright line, it's all completely authorized by Universal, and they were good with like me doing it and signing it, and there was a kind of sort of vindication there, because it was the first thing that's officially copyrighted by Universal that I've done that's not a book cover for Jurassic.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing. That's why I wanted to do this interview, because I know you have like hundreds of videos on YouTube. You've done TED Talks, you've done classes online and all that kind of stuff. But I wanted the Jurassic World and Jurassic Park community to know more about you. Even maybe it's a younger fan or an older fan, whatever it might be. I had some people asking, well, who's Chip Kidd? And well, he's a legend in graphic design, but then he also made the logo that you guys have on every product in your house.
Well, believe me, I asked myself that question a lot.
No worries. I also wanted to ask about, this is my first, this is from 1993. I was 3 in 1993. You probably designed the logo like right when I was being born, which is really weird, but.
Yeah, that is weird.
Probably. I was born in July, so maybe sometime around then. I wanted to know, so I know the poster had a lot of variations before it was actually released. Maybe you know about it, maybe you don't, but when the actual poster got released, the black one with just a logo on it, how did that make you feel? Because I know there was an interview from 1993 or 4 or something with Laura Dern, and she looked very young. She was in a pantsuit, looking very 90s. And she said something like, it was so bold of them to just throw a logo on it and just put the date and a tagline. So how did it feel for your variation of the logo, or your part of the logo, to be on the poster that's on everything?
Well, I mean, I thought it was amazing. I will say, like, based on what you just said, that she said.
Yeah.
So we're talking what? It was 1993, I believe.
Yeah.
And as a fan, I knew. I mean, really, what started that concept was the 1989 Batman movie.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, and so whoever
Yeah,
was,
I love that poster too, where it's just a bat symbol on yellow, and it's in this pretty much the same exact spot as the Jurassic poster, and I love both those posters. So that's
yeah,
funny that
yeah, but the Batman one precedes it by what, 5 years?
yeah. So it was quite a few years before.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. Um, well, I just wanted to say thank you again for doing this. I don't want to take too much of your time, but
No, it's
I
all
gotta
right. I mean, I don't know how this works. Like, do people on Instagram ask questions
let
or?
let, let me see if there's any questions in the question box. Um, someone is Miguel is asking, what is a book cover that you wish that you could design, or something that you haven't worked on yet that you hope to work on one day?
That's a good question. I love The Catcher in the Rye.
Hmm.
Um, so it would be great to do a version of that. I don't know what I would do. Um, but yeah, I mean,
So there are other things that you want to work on that you haven't worked on yet, but
oh sure, yeah. And I'm always excited to see what I'm going to be working on for my regular job. I'm working on a new collection of short stories by Haruki Murakami.
oh yeah, very nice.
That's what I'm currently doing right now, and
So
that
are you like a 9 to 5 kind of guy? Or you go in type thing and or do you work better at night? Do you work better in the day, in the morning? How does it work for
I'm not a morning person, and the Knopf there it's great. They kind of like leave it up to me. I love going to the office, and
you?
I really miss it. Really miss it. But I actually sort of pretty much work from home in the morning and then go into the office, and then depending on what needs to get done
Hmm.
there, I'll work in into the night if I have to or need to. It's really great. It's
Um,
really great.
I forgot to ask you actually. You designed the Lost World cover and you designed the original Jurassic Park cover. I have this version of the book. I have a bunch of versions of the book, but besides your first cover, did you ever do any other reiterations of the Jurassic covers, or were those other designers?
And I don't have it here, but we did a um combined edition of Jurassic Park and the Lost World in one volume that is called Jurassic World.
I think I know that. I know that exact cover. I don't know if I've seen the new one or the old one, but I think maybe they came out with another one. I can't remember,
I
but
mean, it was quite some time ago. It was quite some. It definitely preceded the movie Jurassic World
oh,
by.
and that I find that interesting. Is I saw some posts and blog posts and that kind of thing where people were like, the book actually figured out what the name of the next film would be is Jurassic World, and I love that it's combined like that.
Yeah.
Uh, I think it had like a blue kind of cover, right? Something like that, or gold, blue and gold, or something
It
like.
was like the background is almost like a silver or like a metallic
Oh,
silver.
yeah, it is. It's a complete. So I remember what the I exactly. That's actually that's cool. And then besides that, that's where your Jurassic story ended. Yes.
Well, yes, except when the book became a big hit. I can't remember if it was before the movie or after, but we did a quote gift edition,
Oh yeah, with the clear lining on it. Yeah.
and the story behind that is I can't remember what the print run was, but they were all signed by
Oh,
Crichton.
oh wow.
However, they used something called an auto pen, and again, this was pre-computer,
Yeah.
so it was this some kind of contraption
Hmm.
that would like it Crichton like signed his name once,
Yeah.
and this thing would then take that and sign his name on these books with slight variations on each one.
Oh
And
god.
then the story got out that it was the auto pen, and then people were upset, and it
Oh.
was it was pretty amusing.
Oh no. Did you have to redo them again for him to sign it, or that didn't happen?
No, I think I can't. I again, it was so long ago. I can't remember how they handled it, but they might have put some sort of disclaimer in it
Right.
eventually.
And so you sent in the sleeve to Crichton, and he responded with a fax. How long did it take him for him to respond? Was it the same day, or is it the same week? Or and I know his response, but you can share his response with
I think, I mean, it must have been very, very quick. And just, um, but he would have been on the West Coast, so
them.
you know, I can't remember,
Nervous?
but but I have the facts.
You still have the? Do you have a framed or like laminated or something like that?
No, and also if depending on how fanatical you Jurassic Park guys are,
Very.
my the archive of my stuff of is at my alma mater, Penn State University.
Okay, yeah. I was.
So
There's all that stuff.
if you want to go to the Special Collections Library at Penn State University and request to see the Jurassic Park folder, you can see the whole history of it. I think that's where the fax is actually. I probably have a Xerox of it. I mean, the fax is a Xerox anyway. So, yeah.
What was his response for all the viewers?
Nice effing jacket, right? Wasn't that it?
Something like that. Nice, and then yeah, and then
Or great. I put it in. It's funny. I put it in the first TED talk
mhm.
so that I'm actually dropping the F bomb but not saying it,
You're right.
because you're not supposed to do that for TED.
No, and I guess for Instagram you were well behaved too, so thank you for that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Did Universal, besides adding the circle and the thing on the side, did they change your Rex in any way? Did they fix a bump? Did they get rid of a tooth? Or did
No. They, and of course I don't have the movie logo with me at hand. I think if I remember correctly, they took one of its claws and moved it up a little bit. Otherwise, it's exactly the same.
so like one of these moved just a bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that edition, by the way.
And
They reached out to me and said, "Do you want to be involved?" And I said, uh, you know, you guys do it. I think they sent it to me for approval, but they really, I think they did a beautiful job on that edition. I think that's Barnes and Noble, right?
Barnes and Noble, yeah. I love all those classic editions that they do. They're beautiful. Um, let me see what I saw. One more question come up. Let's see. Oop, no, I just tapped the screen. Okay. Let's see. Oh no, we already answered that one. Is there anything that you want to say to Jurassic Park fans? I don't know. That's an interesting question, but
Hey, I'm thrilled to be associated with this. I think it's just been amazing to see over the years what it's become, and really when the Jurassic World movie came out, just to see it
happening.
all happen again was just really amazing. And I thought the tagline, one of the taglines for the second Jurassic World movie was "Life finds a way,"
Yeah.
which I just thought was. I was going through something very personally devastating at the time, and I was walking down Broadway in Manhattan, and I looked up and I saw this giant billboard with the logo, and it said "Life finds a way," and I was just like, "Ah, oh, thank you!" Like it was like that was some sort of sign or something.
That's actually very beautiful.
It was amazing to me.
Oddly enough, I can relate to that because obviously I've been a fan since I was 3 years old, and then I started making fan movie posters, and Colin Trevorrow, the director of Jurassic World, and Jay Bayona, the one that directed Fallen Kingdom, they would start sharing my fan posters, which in turn, I got to do an official poster for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom 2 years ago. And I never thought in my wildest dreams that would ever happen. And on the poster, it says "Life finds a way." And I always would look at that and say, oh my God, all this fandom wasn't for, nothing. And so I'm glad that got you through. And that saying is really important. It means many other things, obviously, but it means a lot to us. So that's good. I'm glad. And that's awesome for you that it put a smile, like seeing your logo on a huge billboard. It was in New York somewhere. Yeah.
I mean, but again, it wasn't the logo. It was that tagline. It was just like, it was so sweet and poetic and
Yeah. And I'm that's awesome. And thank you for like making all of our, I mean, I don't want to say, it's up there. Maybe it is up there. I think it might be as one of the most recognizable logos in the entire world because you have the Apple logo, you have, whatever it might be, and you put them all up. And if you show it to a kid, they'll know exactly what it is. So that must feel pretty great, honestly.
I makes people happy. I think it's terrific.
It does. But again, I can't believe that I got to speak with you. Hopefully I get to meet you one day. Not
Yeah, I mean, boy, will Comic-Con ever come back?
Oh, I hope so.
Me too.
We
I
have
missed it already.
it's a thing called Designer Con in Anaheim where all graphic designers and people that make toys and whatever come out to. I think you should come to Designer Con one day or host something because people would love to meet you, especially with the Batman stuff. There's a lot of Batman going on over there. So,
I would love it.
but thank you again. Nice to meet you.
All right.
Bring all the questions that I had. I hope they were okay.
Yeah. No, this is really fun.
Oh, one more thing. You have a Skillshare. Are you going to be updating that, or is that are you?
That's a really good question. I have two Skillshares. I have one on book covers, and then one going through the process of an actual project, which was I was asked to do a poster for the Brooklyn Book Festival.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, both of those were really good experiences, but I have been thinking lately because of our collective situation.
Yeah.
Maybe I should do another one, but I'd have to, I'd have to think about what is it, and but I sort of feel like, wow, I should do another.
I haven't watched any of them, and now that I know that it exists, I'm going to watch all of them. So I hope I pick up something cool on there. And if you guys don't know, go to Skillshare.com and look up Chip Kit. But that's all the questions I have. So thank you so much.
All right.
Well, for everybody, if anybody missed it, and I'll share it out. So
great.
Again, see you later.
Take care. What do I do now? How do I turn it off?
I'm gonna click end, and we'll be done. You'll be safe.
All right. All right. Take care.
Take care.